Hey guys, and welcome to JavaScript tutorial of a currency converter. And in here I have an example of what currency we intend to convert from Great Britain pound sterling to euro. And that's what we get. Supposing we change from euro to maybe Australian. There we go. And we can reset, enter whatever amount, or you can always use the object here, change to maybe US dollar. There. You can exit if you want. If you don't want to exit, just click on cancel or click on OK. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you guys straight into Notepad++ right here. That's Notepad++. So let's start a new project, guys. I'm going to first of all come here right inside the Notepad++. You see where it says language. Click on language and I'm going to select HTML. And then I'm going to enter the following. Okay, the following tabs. So right here, where we have the language that I'm using is English, and the tag is going to be HTML, the head. Then we have the meta. This meta has character stating of a Unicode transform format, which here the minimum is going to be 8. And in here we have title. I'm going to enter currency. I will just call that currency converted. That is my title. Next, I'm going to declare the body here. You see where I intend to declare the body? That is for my CSS. So I'm going to start by, first of all, I will just enter the body of the CSS, which is cascading style sheet. And enter all of the details in here. First of all, let's go for the font family. Font family in here is going to be as follows. Vertical, and the other option is going to be sans serif. So there we go, comma, sans serif. So those are the two types of font I intend to use. Then next, the background color. We make background color as, let's set it for F5. Yeah, that will do. Next, followed by, as a text align, center, enter semicolon, and the padding. I'm going to make the padding to be about 130. That's going to be from the top pixels. Now, next thing is I'm going to enter the display. Okay, let's say display, I would call that flex, so that you can move your entire screen the way you want. In that case, because I want it centered, I'm going to get it aligned center, and I will also, let's justify it first. Justify, that is going to be justify the whole content, and you just say center, enter semicolon, and underneath here I'm going to then say align item, and that is going to be center as well. Okay, so that is for the body of the whole project itself, taken care of. And the next thing I'm going to do is, because I do want a frame, so I'm going to say dot frame. Just enter statement block, or if you want, you can call it curly braces. Statement block, then in there I will have a border. Let's make that about 3 pixels. And I'm going to make it solid. And the color, I can always make that black. That's my border. Then the padding, I'm going to make that about 20. So 20 will do. And let's say the maximum width is going to be, let's go for around 700 pixels. Then let's just say my just going to be an That's going to be auto. There we go. Then the background color. I can make that white. Is that there? Background color sorted. We can just put a white in there. Then let's put a border. And I'm going to make that the radius for this border about 10. So it should be a little bit now. Let's say 10 pixels. Underneath here, I'm going to define my headings. So for the headings, I think I'm going to just set it for something H1. Font size. Fonts, we can set it for, let's say, about 40 pixels. Font width is going to be bold. So font width, let's make that bold. And text, the decoration, or decoration, that's going to be, say, underline. Yeah. Then margin of the button, and I'm going to make this button and go for about 20 pixels. There we go. And next, I'm going to create a row. This row, I'll be using it for space between the label and the select. So let's enter statement block there. Now, I want the interface to be flex. Design will be flex. Okay, and I also want it centered and aligned as well. So I'm going to grab hold of all of these and paste it right underneath here. And next is going to be the merging. I want it to merge to the top and maybe about 20 pixels as well. Let's change this one to top. Then the gap in between, I can make that about maybe 10 pixels, and that will do. I'll take care of that. Now, let's create the label. Underneath here, that will be for the label. And the label, font size, and the width. Font size maybe about 30, the width is bold, so that's fine. Now, for the selector itself, so select an input, comma, and for the input. So for both of them, I'm going to have the width, the font, and the width. So we make the font 30 as well. The weight is bold, and the padding will be about 5. I say that's going to be about 5 pixels. That is that done. Next is going to be for the button. So let's come down here and just create the button. So the button is going to, so let's grab hold of the size, width, and merge to the top. Grab hold of all of this. Paste it right there. Then get it meshed to the top and make that about 20. Then padding. I want it padded both sides. Let's say 10 and 30 and 30 pieces. Okay. Now we need a cursor for it. The cursor is going to be pointer. Okay. The mouse should be able to point to it. There we go. And next is going to be the background color. The back color, you can make that maybe something greenish, green or something to grab all of the back color. And that is going to be, let's say, hash for CAF50. Yeah, that will do. Then the font color, that's going to be white. Then the border, let's say no border. In that case, just enter name. There we go. That's the button taken care of. Now, I'm going to have reset button as well. So in that case, I will just change the color of that. Come down here. Let's say button reset. And one is going to be for exit as well. Dot reset. And the color of that, you can grab it. You can change the color for this button, or you can leave it as green. But let's just change the color. The choice is yours if you want to change it. Okay, I'm gonna make that 00. That will give us something reddish, something like that, or orange color, something like that. And the next one is going to be for the exit. So I'm going to grab all of all of this, call this exit. Okay, all of our buttons, CSS code is taken care of. So this is 44336. That's 6. All right, the buttons are taken care of. Now let's take care of where our result is going to be displayed. We'll put an hash in there. Let's just call it result. Now, font is going to be, yeah, let's just copy all of this, padding and so on. I'm going to grab all of everything and just modify it. Okay, font 30, that's fine. Width, bold, margin. Take this off, and I'll make this about 30. Now, padding, 30 by 30. And color, you can make the color something a little bit beige. I'm just going to put the color up here. Down. And put it right here. Okay. Arranging it in order. Now the width. Need the width. And that is going to be about, let's say, 600 pixels. Height. Make that about 20. Okay. Need a border for it. The border, I'm going to make you 2 and solid. Border is going to be 2 pixels solid. Okay, this border, 2 pixels solid. The color. Then display flex. Display. You now want to justify content and align the content. as well. So we can just copy this and bring it right down. Get rid of this. Okay, get rid of this. Okay, guys. So I finished taking care of the CSS. So now let's take care of the others. The next thing I want to do now is to come right here underneath where I have the body. Underneath the body here. So I'm going to first of all, let's just for divide, and I'm going to create a class for my frame. The class is going to be known as frame. So that's a frame that will be around all of the objects. Close that. Next, let me enter a title in there. So let's say H1 is going to be known as that I copied earlier as a title, and H1. Next is going to be for the role. Let's get it divided for the role. And this role, we also have a class that will be this. And in the role, I will have a label. And this label is going to be for the amounts. The of. Okay. Next is going to be an inputs. So these inputs is going to be of type, I'll call it number. That is number. And the ID, that is going to be amount. What about the placeholder? You don't have to enter a placeholder, or the end user might not know what's coming up. So placeholder is encouraged. So enter amounts. And we close that off. Close out the row. There we go. That takes care of that of the amount. I'm also going to create another row for the currency. Maybe just copy this and change things around. So this row is going to be for, let's get this indented. This will be for, I'll call that from currency. And instead of inputs, that's going to be selects. Selects, and the ID there, that is, I'm going to fold that from currency. Make this lowercase, so that's fine. So from currency, and let's just close up that. I'll do the same thing again. Okay, that takes care of the from. And what about the row for tool? Another one be underneath here. So this row will be for the tool currency. So you're changing from this currency to this currency. I will just change this one to 2. All right, that takes care of that. The next one we need to now create is going to just be for the, that'll be from the results. So let's divide. And this is just going to be for result. So ID in this case, call this result. So we say ID equals result. And that takes care of that. That's where we'll be displaying all our results. Now, we now need to create an area for all of our buttons. So I'm going to say create a class role underneath here. And this class role is going to have following style, and that is going to be, we need a gap, yeah, and let's say spacing is about 20 pixels. And just end that. Then we'll create our buttons underneath here. So let's say button, and that is going to have what is known as on click, which is more or less the event. And on click, I want you to go to this function that I'm going to create underneath. I'll call it convert currency. Yeah, convert currency. That's my function. All right, that's taken care of. Then in there, I'll just enter converts. That's the text that will be displayed on the button. Very good. So I can just copy this. I need one for reset and exit. 1, 2. So we can call these exits, and the other one wishes. So this one is going to be, let's change all of this. So we will push it. So come right here and just say the class of this very button class, that will be equals reset. And the click on click, that will be resets. It's called as set one. Yeah, that will do. Okay. And the text, that will be a names. Text and it, that will be known as reset as well. And that is that button taken care of. All right. So you can just grab all of these and change things around the exits. Okay, this is exits. And here is going to be exits form or exit application, exit app. Okay, make this uppercase. And here, just enter exit there. And that's it for the buttons. Okay, close that. All right, so I'm going to save this because I haven't even saved it, and a lot is done. Have a good look at this. Take it from the top, bring it down. Let's go to 5. But make sure the language is HTML. Okay, select the HTML. I'll come right here, file, save us. I'm going to call it currency YT. Save. So we can even try this out. Let's open it up. Currency YT. Look at it. Double click on that. There we go. Look at it. That is how it's all looking. right? This way you enter all your text. Okay. All right. Like I said earlier on, you can change the color of the button to be of the same color if you want. Here they are. So you can make them all the same color. The choice is yours. All right, save that. Let's go back to it. And there we go. You see, they're all the same color. I'm just going to leave it the way it was. Now you know what to do if you want to change all the colors. So that, check it out again. I'm back in here. Right there. Okay. Okay, let's start work with the scripts. So with the script, we're going to have the following. All right. Those are the countries. Okay, their currency abbreviation. All right. So I just have to speed this up. Those are the lines of code for the from currency to currency. And next, we now want to set the default value. The default value is then, let's say, the from currency. So let's say select from. That is going to be dot value. And that is going to be, let's set it for Great Britain pounds. Yeah. And two, each country, we can set it for maybe euro or US dollar or whatever. The choice is yes. Let's go for euro or let's go for US dollar. The choice is yours. You have a lot to choose. So those would be the default value that you guys will see. And next, we need to do, let's take care of these fetch exchange rates. And I intend to use the URL for the exchange rate itself. Yeah, here I search for the exchange rates. I don't have to calculate that. I'll just get the correct value in here. Okay, so have a good look at that. Next. Next, we have the lines of code that we convert the currency for us. This is it there. Using the correct exchange rate. All right, I guess you guys can see that. Okay, have a good look at the lines of codes. Just in case if you enter the wrong value, you'll get this message. Please enter a valid number. All right, and the same thing applies here. Invalid currency codes. And let's take care of the last two functions. Two function is the resets and the exits. If you look at the reset properly, all I just did is the amounts got emptied. The results emptied as well. And for the currency, you just enter the default value. If you go up here, as for the currency, that is it. And the results, that is it here. We empty those. And here, the default value, just change it back to the default value. Enter the comment in there so that you guys can get that wrong. So, and that's it. That's all I've done there. And in here, all I just ask the application to do is to close the window. And this is my own default statements. I enter all the way back. If confirmed, Just say confirm if you want to exit, and that's all there is to it. So I'm going to save this now and let's try it out. That is it. So close, double click on it, and let's enter some value in there. Change it. Okay, let's leave the default value. There we go. Try out the resets. Change it to maybe Nigerian. There we go. Resets. And enter any other currency. Let's go for Canadian. There. So guys, that's how you create your own currency converter using JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. Let me show you guys the codes again. Let's take it from the top. Okay, have a good look at that. Let me get down and down to the result, down to the body. Then we'll go to the script area where we have all of my functions. There. So I believe you guys can see that. So I'm going to call it the end of this brilliant tutorial. I suppose you guys enjoyed. And please do subscribe to my channel. And you can also join to become a member of the channel. You all have a nice day now. Bye for now.